Welcome, folks, to Life in the 1900s newspapers. Today, we will be reading a newspaper from the 1920s. In the 1920s, there were a lot of men who were out of work. Some of them just didn't want to work. They were called hobos, and today's paper has some articles about that. A lot of these men would hitch a free ride on the trains, which was a rather dangerous pursuit.
Charleston.
Today's paper is the Augusta Herald, dated February 28, 1928.
Charleston, Lord, how you can shuffle. Every step you do leads to something new, man, I'm telling you.
Hey folks, stay tuned to the end of this video and you'll see an old silent movie of an actual real hobo riding the rails over the Deschutes in Oregon. Policeman finds the laziest man. When a man with plenty of coal on hand will lie down beside a stove and shiver with the cold after having let the fire go out, he is either doing penance or is just too lazy to live. Officer J.L. Hewitt is partial toward the latter conclusion. In the case of a hobo giving his name as Frank Ferris, self-styled Spanish-American war veteran and scissors grinder, who, after having sponged on the city for lodging for 5 nights in succession, was Monday charged with idling and loitering without visible means of support. In bearing out his contention, Officer Hewitt said, "The man was so lazy that he wouldn't move his nose half an inch to keep a drop of water from falling on it." After hearing this splendid recommendation, Judge John H. King of the Recorder's Court asked the defendant whence he came, in which the man replied he was a citizen of Plunkett, Pennsylvania. "How much money have you?" questioned Judge King. 20 cents was the reply, which seemed to seep through lips which didn't move. "Well, Judge," interrupted Officer Hewitt, "if that man has to go into his pocket after it, we'll have it this time tomorrow." "Nothing would please me more than to see your coat tail stretched straight out behind you as you go across the North Augusta Bridge," as he leveled his finger at the defendant. "If that man went that fast, he'd drop dead before he hit the other side," was Officer Hewitt's way of questioning such a performance. "You go on out there, and the officer will show you the way out of town. And don't come back here neither," thundered the judge. With this admonishment, the fellow departed. A few minutes later, an officer could be seen through the window of the courtroom, directing the gaze of this infliction upon the sunlit hills of South Carolina.
Charleston, that dance is surely a comer. Sometime you're gonna dance it one time. The dance called the Charleston, made in Caroline.
Oh, Bo Billy, riding on an eastbound freight train, speeding through the night. Hobo Bill, a railroad bum, was fighting for his life. The sadness of his eyes revealed the torture of his soul. He raised a weak and weary hand to brush away the cold. Oh, Bo Billy, no warm lights flickered around him, no blankets there to fold. Nothing but the howling wind and the driving rain so cold. when he heard a whistle blowing in a dreamy kind of way. The hobo seemed contented, for he smiled there where he lay. Hobo Bill. Outside the rain was falling on that lonely boxcar door, but the little form of Hobo Bill lay still upon the floor.
Our boarding house.
Sped through the darkness and the raging storm.
You asked me to tell you about the time I was a brakeman on the runaway tank car full of nitroglycerin. Well, yes, that was kind of a thrill. The car started down a 5-mile grade headed for town. The brake wheel wouldn't work. I crawled in on a beam and opened up a 4-inch valve, letting the nitro pour out on the ties. Just as the last pint drained, I hopped off, and a minute later, the runaway crashed into a string of loaded gasoline tank cars. You see, if it hadn't been for my cool head, what could have happened? Just a brave deed done, but unsung.
Bah! I have every reason to believe that you resort to gross exaggeration. Why don't you just be truthful with your narrations, like I am?
It's your bat now, Major. Tell Jake about the fuss you had with the boa constrictor. That'll raise both hairs on his head. The family gift. Did you know that it was traditional on leap year for the woman to propose to any man, and if he wasn't taken or promised, he would have to say yes? The day after this newspaper would be a leap year, February 29th, and, of course, the businesses in the area leapt at the chance to sell people some goods. The Herald offers herewith a number of proposals, any one of which will help you to get your man. Propose to your husband that he have this new gas water heater, introductory sale, the Gaslight Company, Augusta, Georgia. We insure against all accidents except marriage. Mrs. Claire R. Mathewson, Campbell Building. Why are girls so jumpy on leap year? Woe, what manner of individuals is this that calleth himself man? Poor man, he is besieged, he is chased up a telephone pole. He is in truth reduced to what you call it, to a non-entity, practically, in this modern year of 1928, yes, leap year. We don't know what it will be next year, but certainly this one is keeping him busy, dodging from one proposal to another. No rent day. Someone suggested that February 29th be declared no rent day, since it is literally an extra day. The real estate offices of League, Dovell and Powell aver that there is no such thing as no rent day, except for the man who owns his own home. Then they hasten to mention that they are now in possession to offer for sale several attractive homes. Free car fares to the mothers of every child born in Augusta, Georgia, tomorrow, February 29th. Augusta Aiken Railway and Electric Company, Augusta, Georgia. Window living unique advertising. Put a man on a flagpole and people will gape. Put a woman in a public boudoir. Will not people gape and gape again? Believing that they will, an Atlanta department store has engaged Edna Kirby cinema actress, to live in one of their show windows for a week. She arrived in Atlanta one morning last week, was welcomed at the City Hall by Mayor I.N. Ragsdale, and then went about her window business. A daily routine of lounging, eating, lounging, dancing with callers, chatting, tidying, and lounging. At 9 p.m., she prepared to retire. The curtains of the show window were discreetly drawn. At 9 a.m. next day, the curtain parted, and there was Edna Kirby, finishing her toilette, just as if she had been there all night.
Or a sandwich or a quarter or a spot of something wet. He will play that old piano like you never have heard it yet. The hobo boogie, that's what he calls his melody. Got the rhythm in a boxcar riding on a bumpy rail. Wrote the tune from start to finish on the walls of the county jail. The hobo boogie, that's just the way it came to be. He tires of faces every day. He tires of places, wants to get away. He gets the urge to hit the steel, to Asheville, Nashville, Chattanooga, or Mobile. You can hear the wheels a clanging and the rails just seem to hum. It'll make you feel like shouting, hey there Birmingham, here I come, the hobo boogie. You gotta love that melody. tires of faces every day. He tires of places, wants to get away. He gets the urge to hit the steel, to Asheville, Nashville, Chattanooga, automobile. You can hear the wheels a clanging and the rails just seem to hum. It'll make you feel like shouting, hey there Birmingham, here I come, the hobo boogie. You gotta love that melody.